Ladies and gentlemen, today, the 13th of October, is recognized worldwide as the International Day for Disaster Reduction. World leaders at the United Nations General Assembly designated this day in 1989 as an international day to promote a global culture of disaster reduction, including disaster prevention, mitigation, and preparedness. This day commemorates how people of every kind, culture, and communities around the world are reducing their exposure to disasters and raising awareness about the importance of reducing risk faced. It is also an opportunity to acknowledge the sustainable progress being made toward eliminating loss of life, safeguarding livelihoods, and improving access to health care. Additionally, it also measures the progress made in the economic, physical, social, cultural, and environmental assets of persons, businesses, communities, and countries. The reciprocal relationship between disasters and inequality is the theme for this year's International Day for Disaster Reduction. The United Nations has recognized poverty and inequality as the main drivers that force communities to live in inadequate infrastructure, hazardous areas, and poor housing. Inequality inhibits access to information, services, alerts, and warnings. The global economic crisis, high debt levels impacting vulnerable countries, deepening inequalities, and rapid increases in the cost of living due to supply chain disruptions are severely affecting the most vulnerable. This puts women, girls, and persons with disability most at risk of being exploited. Children are most vulnerable because they are dependent on adults for their safety and security. A reduction in inequality deserves a collaborative effort that must motivate all concerned stakeholders to work cohesively to address the problem. This includes genuine policies and social innovation, development professionals, academia, the private sector, and local communities. This collective action will alleviate inequality wherever it arises. A recent report from the United Nations has indicated that climate change has left millions homeless. Storms, floods, fires, major droughts, and other extreme weather events involving children between 2016 and 2021. Floods have triggered the most displacement of children, with more than 19 million impacted in megacities including the Philippines, India, and China. Droughts displaced 1.3 million children. This figure is often underreported because of the slow onset nature of the drought hazard. Scientists have continually expressed grave concern at excessive heat and rising temperature records being set globally, mainly driven by persistent and unusual warmth in the world's ocean. Heat waves and extreme temperatures have been reported in many cities and regions across the globe. The European Space Agency reported that September 2023 was 1.75 degrees Celsius or 3.15 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than the mid-1800s. The European Space Agency reported that September 2023 was 1.75 degrees Celsius or 3.15 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than the mid-1800s average temperature for September. The average temperature was 0.93 degrees Celsius or 1.7 degrees Fahrenheit above the 1991 to 2020 average for September. This was the warmest above average margin for a month in 83 years of record keeping. At the local level, the Nevis Island Administration continues to promote and sustain economic growth, making our economy more resilient. The administration strives to ensure more equitable access to productive resources, healthcare, education, natural resources, and public decisions. Important services like education and healthcare have become more responsive and inclusive to help children and their families better cope with disasters, as was demonstrated during the recent COVID-19 pandemic. This administration continues to invest in our people. Every child in Nevis, whether born in a rich or poor family, has the opportunity to develop his or her skills and physical well-being to their full potential. This investment in public health, quality public education, and job training creates an environment for social and economic equity that contributes to higher average economic prosperity and lowering unemployment. Additionally, the Nevis Island Administration is promoting greater attention and investment in the strengthening of our local response capacity, especially in the face of more frequent exposure from the effects of climate change. Investment in multi-hazards early warning systems is a priority, so everyone would have a chance to be prepared and protected in the event of pending disasters. Adequate funding of disaster risk reduction is reflected within the annual fiscal budgets. This is supported by public-private investments and international assistance to empower our people and to improve resilience. The Nevis Disaster Management Department has partnered with our communities to identify and map hazards in addition to developing response plans. Training of persons to enhance our volunteer pool and develop management structures are ongoing in our communities. The success of our multi-hazards public awareness campaign, built largely on a participatory approach, engages a wide range of stakeholders. This strategy includes involving our schools, faith-based organizations, government agencies, business sector, regional and international partners in the promotion of awareness of disaster prevention and managing disaster risks. While the challenges of sustainable development are reasonably well advanced, promoting economic development, maintaining social inclusion, and ensuring environmental sustainability remains our focus. The need to reduce the vulnerabilities and build resilience in our society has now become more crucial than ever. It is imperative, therefore, that we are armed with the knowledge of what to do before, during, and after each impact. Our vulnerability to disasters can only be minimized through effective risk reduction and maximizing the use of our resources. I appeal to everyone to act responsibly, join the efforts of building community resilience through education while managing our multi-hazard environment. The Nevis Disaster Management Department is commemorating the International Day of Disaster Reduction with activities throughout the month of October and encourages all persons to participate in these events. Disaster preparedness, mitigation, and response requires the participation of every individual. Let us use our collective skills and resources to help reduce the number of casualties and build a more resilient Nevis. Thank you, and God bless.